Welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Orlando. I am Charlotte Kendall, a member of this congregation. With me in today's service are Reverend Margalie Belizaire, our DLRE, Judith Stein-Farrall, Director of Music, Aubrey Connelly-Candelario, or maybe that's not where he is. Whatever. Joan Nelson, Wendy Derrow, Charles Connelly-Candelario, and the Chalice Choir. Guest accompanist Steve Schickerl-Stein and Linnea Nelson, worship associate. And of course, much gratitude to all of the wonderful 1U teams whose efforts ensure that you are able to gather and worship this morning. You make it happen. Please note that the nursery is open for toddlers to pre-K during the service. We welcome our children and youth who will stay with us for the entire service today. We fully welcome our children into service today, wiggles, giggles, and all. We welcome all to join us as we explore our Unitarian Universalist faith, which draws us into a community of justice seekers with a commitment to lifelong spiritual growth and compassionate service to the community. Whoever you are, whoever gender, sexual orientation, age, physical or mental abilities, economic status, or religious background, we welcome you. For more information about our congregation and announcements, go to orlandouu.org or email info@orlandouu.org. This is a reminder that we have our congregational meeting following the service today, starting at 12 o'clock, where we will be voting on the 8th principle. Be sure to have something to eat in Gore Hall just after worship service, so you're nourished and ready for our meeting. The nursery will be open for our little ones and a supervised movie for all other children. Now for a couple of special announcements from Reverend Margalie.
Good morning. Wanted to give you an update on the auction. Now all the numbers are in, and we raised, right? We raised a total of $28,887 with a net total of $25,700. Thank you so much to the auction team, which was led by Carolina Lofgren. And also, we want to let you know, as of this past Friday, 25% of 1U households have pledged, and we have a total of $213,360 of pledges already. And if you haven't pledged it, what are you waiting for? We have cards out there for you, or, of course, you can do it online, but pledge as many times as you feel like it.
All other announcements are on slides before and after the service, have links in the weekly update or on our website, posted in the order of service, which you can access via QR code. Thanks again for being here in person and online today.
Please say these words with me as we light the chalice. In the light of truth and in the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share.
Our opening hymn today is hymn 109, As We Come Marching, Marching. The words are from the suffrage suffragists movement the early 1900s, and many of you might know it from the 1960s version with Judy Collins singing, but the hymn that is in our hymnals is actually right after World War II, when it was used as a rallying cry for women who were losing their jobs from men returning from the war. So please stand as you are willing as able and sing with us, hymn 109, As We Come Marching, Marching.
I am so glad to be here with you this morning, gathering in community, as we continue to celebrate Women History Month. And so it is apropos that we honor a woman, UU minister, who is part of the history of this congregation. Furthermore, she is a part of the history of the city of Orlando. The city honored her a couple of weeks ago, actually less than a couple of weeks ago, and we will be doing so today, not just during the service, but during the congregational meeting. We hope you will be able to stay for that. This historical figure is the Reverend Dr. Mary Augusta Safford. And I'm just realizing as I say doctor, I'm not 100% sure. I might have just bestowed that on her. So she was a trailblazer who helped pave the road for women minister and was a part of this congregation at its inception. She was a person of conviction and lived her call to ministry and social justice. And so I call us to worship with the words of Sarah C. Stewart, to remember our promises, because she was one who kept her promises. Bring who you are as you enter our church this morning. Bring your best self and your struggling self. Bring your mistakes and your triumphs. Bring your shortcomings and your recommitment to good. Bring yourself here and open your heart to beauty, to truth, to the door that is open to the presence of God. Here in this church, we are trying to walk together on the peaceful way, trying to hammer out division and hatred and all that separates one from another. We try, and we will fall short, but held in love, we try again. We come together this morning as a church to bow our heads in prayer, to raise our voices in song, to remember our promises and vow to live by them once again. And come, beloveds, let us worship together. And let's not forget what an exciting time it is at 1U. And let's excitedly greet one another, say hello, and Aubrey will let us know when we're, yes. We are about to show you a video, and we're asking you, as you watch, do you know who these people are?
Hello, everyone. My name is Wendy Derrow. I'm here today to briefly tell you the story of how I came to be at this church, First Unitarian of Orlando, what I love about this church, and why I pledge at this church, and what it is about this place that makes me give my money. So about 7 years ago, I was retired, and I decided I wanted to take a class to learn to play Mahjong. Now, at that time, Rollins College had this Winter Park Institute. It was for anyone, and they offered classes to seniors over the age of 55. Unfortunately, they no longer have that. But I signed up for the class to learn to play Mahjong, and I went to the location where it was offered. And I walked in, and there were some tables set up. And sitting at one of the tables was a woman with a very warm smile. And I thought, I'm going to sit with her. So I sat down at that table, and we played, and there were a couple other women there. And that woman was Beverly Alec, and she is a member of this church. Through her and the other women, I met some of her friends, and I also reconnected with one of their friends who happened to be a member of this church. What all of these women had in common was that they were warm, they were welcoming, they were smart, they were active, they all still are, they're interesting, and they were all members of this church. I was intrigued. I had no knowledge of universal Unitarianism. The friend I already knew, who has since moved to Atlanta, kept encouraging me to come and visit the church. And in the meantime, when we'd get together, the women might talk about some things from the church, like anti-racism, LGBTQ rights, and other subjects which were very close to my heart. So one Sunday, I came and visited. My very first visit here, I loved the energy of this church. It was so warm and so welcoming. I felt safe and comfortable. I love the people here and the feeling of community. I love the music. Thank you, Aubrey. Whether it is soothing or uplifting, I love that all are welcome here. And that this church and community reflects my values of love and respect for all. I love that we live out our values and have so many opportunities here for service, learning and education, and action. I love the way we are with the children of this congregation. I feel that we need to be here for each other now more than ever. We are needed in the community and in society at large. I'm lucky. I've always felt that I've had purpose in my life. There is no doubt that whoever you are, whatever age you are, you can have purpose being a member of this church and participating at any level that you choose. What a gift. And you can connect with others. What a gift. We have Reverend Margalie and Judith Stein-Farrall. We are set for the future to grow and to thrive. I certainly hope that you have found this place worth funding and that you will support this church. Thank you.
and I loved your testimonial. Hi, I'm Joan Nelson, President of the Board of Trustees, and we invite you now into the practice of generosity. It is one of our spiritual values which sustains the life and ministries of the church community. Let us be grateful for the opportunity to give, for it is a privilege to be able to do so. And let us be grateful for our needs, for they give us the opportunity to practice receiving. The Share the Plate partner for the month of March is the Coalition of Immokalee Workers. And there is a slide, if you choose to donate to them, you can use the link in our newsletter, or you can link to what's on the slide. And please let us know if you've donated so we can keep track. Today's full collection will go to the ministries of this congregation. The offering will now be collected, and note that you can also use the link that is on the screen.
Good morning. My name is Judith Stein-Farrall. I'm the Director of Lifespan Religious Enrichment here at First U. And I'd like to invite any children or youth in age or in spirit to join me up here as you're comfortable while we talk and connect with Reverend Mary A. Safford. Oh, cool. Thank you. I love it when parents come up too. This is cool. Make yourself comfortable. There we go. You can't? Okay. So guess what? All the parts of the service this week are connected. And this part is where we are going to connect what the video you saw at the beginning, did you all see that video? Right? With what Reverend Margalie is going to say a little bit later, and a celebration we're going to have later on after the service this morning. I see you all filled with anticipation. There we go. Okay, so my question is, do you remember who these people are that are up on the screen from the video? Do y'all remember seeing those? I'm sure I want to get out of the way, but either way, I'm in the way. Okay. This is Eleanor Gordon and Mary Safford, and they both became ministers during a time when ministers were mainly men. They eventually came to Orlando, But first they started in Illinois, and then they moved to Iowa, where they preached together and founded a supportive group of women in ministry called, and you saw it in the video, the Iowa Sisterhood. And then they fought for the right to vote for women. Did you all know that women, up until 1920, could not vote? Were not allowed to vote? Yeah. Well, these women helped make it happen. And then they came to Orlando, where Mary Augusta Safford, who we're celebrating later today, was active in First Unitarian Congregation right here for 17 years. And here we are, as we are today, at First Unitarian Church of Orlando. Now that you've seen them and been reminded who they are, we're going to play a memory game. Ready? Y'all can participate as you want to, or y'all can participate. But I'm going to ask the children first to come up. Somebody come up and choose which one you want to flip over first. And I'll flip it over because otherwise it may fall. Okay, this one. All right, stay here. All right. Where do you think the other one might be? You have no idea, right? Oh, by the way, what is that picture? Because everyone can't see it. Do you remember what that is? It's what? It's the house. It's Unity Church Chapel that was here first. No, I think it's okay. All right, let's see if that's it. Oh my gosh, you got it. Woo! All right, would either of you like to come up and choose a couple? May not be that easy next time. Okay, no? Anybody want me to hear? Okay, that's okay. All right, thank you, Charlotte. All right, so you can, let's see, flip it over. Oops, that one I did not, okay.
What is the Iowa Sisterhood?
That's the Iowa Sisterhood. You want to look for another, take a guess? I have no idea where I put them. Oops. Nope.
This is today's church with the trellis.
Okay, so.
Well, actually, that might be before the sanctuary.
It is, yeah. This is a picture that John gave me to choose from. Okay, so I'll flip that over. So today's church is going over here. Iowa Sisterhood is going over here. How about I choose this one and you can tell me where to go next? Aha. That's Eleanor Gordon. Anybody want to guess where I should go next? All right, here we go. That one right there. Cool. That's Mary Safford. Close. All right. You want to come choose another one? Okay. All right. Adults. I need adults if I don't have children. Okay. I tell you what, I'm going to choose one right here, and you can tell me if you can figure out where it's, the right to vote. Any guesses where I should go? Just, you can point. Here? Here? That one? Okay. That's Iowa. All right, so we'll put that one back. We won't do this all morning, I promise. We'll do two more, maybe. Oh, thank you. Okay. Sure. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Tell me where to go. That one? All right. Aha! Where was that? Or was that the one we looked at before? You think? Okay, let's see. Okay, there's Mary Safford. So let's do some guessing from here. Choose another one and let's see what we match up. All right. That's Eleanor. Okay, next one. Aha! Eleanor! Woo! Oops. Let's see. There we go. Great. Choose another one. There we are. There's Florida. I think that was Iowa. You think? You think it's Florida? Okay. Well, we found Eleanor Gordon. Go ahead. There we go. Iowa. Where was the other Iowa? You think? Okay. Oh, ta-da! Woo! Anybody else? We can stop. It's okay. You want to come up? We'll do one more? All right. We'll stop there this morning, but my point is, here we are, all this history, and we need to remember it. So now I invite our children to go back to sit down so that we can take part in joys and sorrows, which comes up next.
Thank you, everyone. Need to move this up. This is the time we set aside for deep sharing of our hearts and for prayer and meditation. If you have a sadness or have a joy that you wish to share, please be part of our collective sharing of joys and sadness, which we read each Sunday during worship. You can email your joy or sadness during the week. You can write it on a card on Sunday mornings if you're attending in person. Children, ask your parents or caretaker if you need help. And you can participate in our candle lighting ritual and privately reflect on your joy or sadness. Know that you can bring all of your joys and all of your sadness as we come together. Come as you are. All of you, your whole self, is welcome into this space we are creating together. The flowers are in celebration of Danuta Bach, a birthright UU born 80 years ago on St. Patrick's Day. She has been a voting member of 1U since 1959, when the youth were given a voice. Another joy, John Bachman, and I concur, wants to acknowledge the extra efforts, physical work, running cable, mounting and remounting, and communication coordination that Mike McCleskey, Scott, Fluffy, Rayford, and Max Beck put into replacing and installing the 2 video monitors. So if you look back, a nice big video monitor on the wall there, and then they also replaced the one that was over the choir. So this is what we're speaking of. And they coordinated and worked well together on these tasks, and just felt, and John, who is not here today, John, are you here? Nope, don't see John. Yeah, and John wanted to thank them, and if we could just give them really wonderful. So thank you so much. John's not here, but I wanted to add a thank you to John for being such an integral part of audio and video back there, and for so long. So if you should see John, if he's not here today, but if you should see John, please let him know how grateful you are that he has chosen to serve in this capacity. We have a joy from Margaret McLarkin. After 3 weeks of waiting for results, my MRI showed that my lymphoma is still in remission. The spot on my liver is benign. So. From the larger community, may the people of Malawi, Mozambique, and Madagascar be free of tropical cyclone Freddie that has been wreaking havoc on their country for the past 30 days, over 30 days now, the longest lasting storm in the Southern Hemisphere. Over 500 lives and counting have been destroyed, as well as homes and vegetation. And let us also send loving kindness to all others who are in crisis, pain, and are suffering, especially due to conditions beyond their control. And for all the joys and sorrows, whether they were shared or held close to the heart, let us pray, let us celebrate, and let us send each other healing energy. I invite you now into meditative prayer with the words of Reverend Joan Johnson Lewis. Sit as comfortably as you can. Relax your body as you listen to these words and meditate on them. May we have the courage to open ourselves to the pleasures and wounds of life. May we have the strength to be open and honest with ourselves and others, even when it is difficult. May we have the wisdom to understand that when we travel through the midst of uncertainty, openness and vulnerability make it more possible to find the way through the mist. And may we be open to vulnerability, as that is to be alive. And as we continue our annual pledge campaign, may we value the relationship between our giving and the flourishing and sustaining of our community. And for this next part, parents, we ask that you please be mindful of the little ones. We invite you now to participate in our candle lighting ritual. If you're willing and able, we encourage you to focus your energy on the spirit of abundance and the continued plight of women. And if not, please find some other way to use this time to reflect deeply.
to you I give, together we share, and from this we live.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk to you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone, neath the halo of the street lamp. I turned my collar to the cold and damp, when my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more, people talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs that voices never share, and no one dare disturb the sound of silence. Fool, said I, you do not know. Silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I might teach you. Take my arms that I might reach you. But my words like silent raindrops fell and echo in the wells of silence. And the people bowed and prayed. The people bowed and prayed to the neon gods they made. To the neon gods they made. And the sign flashed out its warning in the words that it was for me. And the sign said the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls and tenement halls. Sounds of silence, silence.
Thank you. During one of the Sundays in February, we explored our history. And when I spoke of our first minister, Reverend Eleanor Elizabeth Gordon, I mentioned that she was well established prior to her connection to 1U. I further noted that she was part of a group of women ministers in Iowa known as the Iowa Sisterhood. Well, the minister largely credited for bringing this group of women together is the Reverend Mary Augusta Safford. It is a great extent due to the work of the sisterhood that Unitarianism was spread in places like Iowa, Illinois, Minnesota, North and South Dakota. Our faith owes Reverend Safford and the Iowa Band, which was another name that was bestowed on them, was known by much gratitude for the growth of UU in that part of the country. It's challenging, really, to speak about Safford without bringing up Gordon, as you've seen already, right? But I'll try to. And there's a very good reason why their names come up together so often. It is because they were partners in ministry. And as young women, they covenanted with one another to spend their lives together serving the world as a team. And perhaps Mary might not have accomplished as much as she did if not for her association with Eleanor, who was brought up in a less traditional religious setting than Mary, where Eleanor was encouraged to think broadly about things and out of the box when it came to religion and spirituality. Today, though, we are honoring Safford, as the city of Orlando did just 2 weeks ago on March 7th, when a plaque was unveiled on Orange Avenue in her honor because of her relentless work in Orlando for women's right to vote. Very shortly, we will be doing the same here. It is important that we celebrate women when we celebrate women's history this month, that we are reminded of the many trailblazing women who have made significant contributions to our society. And one of such women was the very Reverend Safford, who was a Unitarian Universalist minister, a suffragist who dedicated her life to fighting for justice and equality. It seems to me that trailblazing was something she was born to do. The story goes that as a little girl, she would use a tree stump on her family farm in Hamilton, Illinois, as a pulpit to preach from. You know, you've probably seen the See Her, Be Her promotional ads. The idea behind them is that if young girls can see women out in the world being in certain roles and doing wonderful things, then these young girls can imagine themselves in those roles themselves, doing those wonderful things as they themselves become women, you know, opening up a whole world to them to dream bigger and be inspired by. But Mary had no such examples. As a young girl of the mid-1800s, women ministers were a rarity at best. The rightful place for those and female bodies in church was in the kitchen or praying from the pews, certainly not from the pulpit, not speaking from the pulpit. There was no path that she could see when it came to being a female clergy. She needed to blaze the trail, and in so doing, broke barriers for those who would come after her. In a time when women were not allowed to preach from the pulpit, she challenged the status quo and proved that women were just as capable, and sometimes even better, than men leading religious congregations. Despite facing significant obstacles, Reverend Safford was determined to follow her calling. She became an ordained Unitarian minister of remarkable energy, zeal, and dedication, did much to plant and promote the growth of Unitarian churches in the Midwest during the 1900s. She went on to be an influential member of our faith and served for over 30 years as a minister at congregations in Illinois and in Iowa. She also served as the president of the Iowa Association of Unitarian Churches. But Reverend Safford's work didn't stop at the pulpit. She was also a passionate suffragist, fighting for women's rights to vote and equality in all areas of life. She was on the board of the National American Women's Suffragists Association and was the first president of the Orlando chapter, and later of the Florida Equal Suffrage Association. She was previously president of the Iowa Association as well. Reverend Safford saw the fight for women's rights as an extension of her work as a minister, believing that all people should be treated with dignity and respect. She recognized that women's voices needed to be heard in all areas of society and worked tirelessly to secure the right to vote for women. Mary was a true Unitarian committed to the values of justice, equity, and compassion. She understood that our faith calls us to work for the greater good and to fight against injustice wherever we see it. Her work as a minister and a suffragist was a testament of her unwavering commitment to these values. She saw the world as it could be, not as it was, and worked tirelessly to make it a better place for all people, regardless of gender or any other aspect of their identity. Safford once said, "The world is full of work, and those who are happy are those who find it and do it." She lived her life by these words, dedicating herself to the work of ministry and the fight for women's rights. As we honor her memory this Women's History Month, let us be inspired by her example and continue the work of creating a more just and equitable world for all. Let us be reminded of the many trailblazing women who have come before us and who continue to inspire us today. We are called to follow in their footsteps, to speak the truth to power, and to work towards a world where justice and equality are the norm. May you be inspired by her. May you be inspired by her example, and may we continue to work towards this goal. And please rise and body your spirit as we sing our closing hymn, "Come Sing a Song with Me." The words will be projected on the screen.
Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love that grows in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love that grows in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love that grows in the winter time.
Come sing a song with me. I was waiting, come dance with me, but that might be the verse I need to add. Before benediction, just wanted to remind you that we do have our congregational meeting at 12, but in between, please go over to Gore Hall and find something to eat so you can be nourished and ready for our meeting. But please be here by 12 so we can start promptly. Heed no ignoble questionings about popularity, wealth, or fashion, but obey your heavenly vision. Be loyal to the truth you see. Bravely stand by your conviction and work for the human good. Reverend Mary Augusta Safford. Beloveds, Worship has ended. And now the service truly begins.
Please say these words with me as we extinguish the chalice. We extinguish the flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.